Michelle Brown here from mixedmediaart.net and welcome to our tips video. Today we're looking at the tools that we use to create our mixed media art pieces. Now it doesn't matter whether it's a canvas, whether it's an art journal layout, whether it's an altered book, these are the tools that I always pull out when I'm about to head into a project. The first thing we need is paintbrushes. Now I like using the big wide flat ones. I keep one especially for gesso, so that one's nice and wide. And then the rest that I use are all a little bit stained, but that's fine. Now, sometimes they're round, sometimes they're flat, but these all came in a bulk packet and they were all fairly cheap, so I'm not really too worried how they go. Now these are the paintbrushes that I use for creating the piece that we talked about in our creating layers tutorial. So some of the other things we use for a paint palette, I just use an old styrofoam meat tray. Now you can see over time it's slowly built up more and more layers, and I think soon I'll have to retire it and create that into a piece of artwork in its own right. I also make sure I've got a sturdy water pot. This one's got a wider base on it. It could also be a jar, as long as it's nice and stable so that it won't tip over when it's full of water and when it's got your brushes sitting in it, because we don't want to make a mess. Now also we use some foam stamps. So this is a series by Making Memories. It's got a nice foam backing and then it really works well with the acrylic paint. And we've talked before about applying the paint with the paintbrush so that it gives us a really good impression when we stamp it. We also of course like our found objects. So we use a range of Punchinella, and quite often we'll do that with a small round sponge. I've also got an old cork that we like using to create texture, as well as my now famous bottle lid, and this one's actually got the safety rim inside it as well, so it gives an interesting impression. And then some bubble wrap, and I usually just have that held over the back of a wooden stamp to give it some strength and some substance. And also of course for creating those credit card lines, either use an old credit card or a store card. Please don't use one that's current because it will muck up the strip. And then if I'm using impasto medium, I might actually cut one in half so I can then get into the tub and then smear it out with that. So I hope that's given you a little idea of some of the things you need to get started with mixed media art, and they're not complicated or expensive tools, and once you've got them there is a huge range of projects that you can create from them. So thank you for joining us today and happy creating!